commencing Operation Configuration. Strap in as the hosts believe they have a long episode ahead of them. Pay close attention to how...
Oh, Waspinator is back. Oh, Waspinator has been having good days. Not get caught once. Ew, Waspinator does has question. Why he has no in this comic? Oh, I thought universe was happy with Waspinator. Oh, maybe I keep trying.
And that is how baby turbo foxes are made. Now, enough sidetracking. Let us tune in to the show.
Hello and welcome to the podcast where we are currently recapping the events of the Transformers IDW 2019 continuity. I'm Onyx Prime with my two co-hosts here.
Hi, I'm Killobyte.
And I'm Clickbait. 1, 2, 3, and 4. You can't go backwards on me.
Alright, Clickbait, next time you can host the show. Moving
I
on
wanna
with
host
our
the show, I
comic
just thought you'd do
discussion
it
for
right.
today's episode takes us to IDW Transformers issues 37 to 43. And as always, spoiler warning. So if you haven't read it already, we highly recommend you go back, read the comics, and listen to the podcast. Also, we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. And last I checked, I'm not going to count that many. I didn't know there was that many humans. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway we've never done before. So click that subscribe button and tell your friends it's a good time. Now, onwards with the podcast. With that, Clickbait, do you mind giving us the fun facts and trivia about the comics we're discussing for today's episode?
Absolutely. Let's get started with some fun facts for today. First of all, the number of comics we're reviewing today will be 7. Issue 37 was released on November 24th, 2021, with issue 43 coming out May 18th of 2022. Our writer for these issues is Brian Ruckley, and our artists are going to be Winston Chan, Guido Guidi, Anna Malkova, Andrew Griffith, Blackie Shepherd, Juan Samu, Ed Pierre, with colors by Jean-Paul Bovey, David Garcia Cruz, and Heather Brickell. Man, these humans need to chill with the names.
That's
Sweet
those
Soulless
are tricky
Prime.
names.
Those were all very tricky names.
quite a mouthful.
Quite a mouthful. Now, on to some trivia for these issues. For issue 37, this arc takes its name from a famous John Milton quote: "Innocence, once lost, can never be regained. Darkness, once gazed upon, can never be lost." And Exarchon's original
It's
form.
deep.
Huh? It is deep.
That's
yeah,
deep.
It is very deep. Yeah. Exarchon's original form, first revealed in this issue, is based on a recolored version of the 1981 Diaclone Dia Attacker toy with little changes, most notably as the chest plate and obviously the colors. In issue 38, keeping the ongoing GoBots trend inclusion going, Psykill makes their first appearance in this series, but it's short-lived as he is crushed when Ultra Magnus bashes down the door on top of his head. Psykill was also in the 2005 continuity where he was murdered by Megatron in the pits during the Megatron Origin series, and his first death was during Dreamwave's Generation 1 continuity where he was killed in the smelting pool of Iacon. Man, this poor guy just cannot catch a
He's always
break.
getting killed.
Oh my gosh.
It's in the name,
guy.
though.
Is he like the what's the orange hooded character from the Park of South?
Park of
Where he's
Seven.
always getting killed?
it's
Park of
Gary.
South.
I don't know.
Gary? Yeah, that
Gary.
sounds
See,
about right.
now that's a
Yeah.
good pronounceable human name. Why aren't they all named Gary? Anyways, our last piece of trivia for today is going to be in issue 43. Termagax's creation story ties together the original 13 Transformers, as well as their immediate descendants, the First Forged, by explaining that the 13 created the First Forged, who in turn created the foundations of Cybertronian civilization. It ties Solus Prime to the creation of Cybertronian life, while that version of the story ends with Solus Prime dying at the hands of Megatronus and subsequently becoming the Well of Allsparks. This version of the story, which already showed both her and Alchemist surviving all the way to the end of the Age of the Primes in issue 40, has her using the Earthforge to create the second generation of Transformer life. Is it Earthforge? You are forged? You've been forged today? Earthforge?
I don't.
Leave it in the comments
I can't
below.
read.
Anyways, if you want to see that for yourself, listeners, go ahead and use your eyes, optics, whatever you have to consume this
It'll
media.
be in the video.
Or that. Earthforge. It's like,
Thank you so much.
you are most
Clickbait.
welcome.
Killobyte, do you mind giving us a summary?
Will do. The looming threat of Exarchan forces Optimus Prime and Cyclonus to confront their pasts in search for answers. And as always, this information has been taken from the wiki. And as always, a special shout out to all of our Patreon supporters. Thank you so much for supporting the show. Without you, we wouldn't be here.
Thank you so much. You guys are the best. Rodstar to each of ya. Are you two ready to dive into today's comics?
Absolutely.
Okay, because the first one, we start off with Cyclonus flashbacks to his team dying during the threefold spark battle. Thoughts? Favorite scenes?
I feel so bad for him.
I got PTSD from 8-Wheeler.
What about
Poor
8
guy.
really? Hold on.
I got
It's Googling.
PTSD. I got PTSD
PTSD.
seeing this. Losing my team in the D&D, you know?
Oh, yeah, D&D. Oh, Transform and Roll Out.
yes. Always
Yeah,
fun.
yeah.
I mean, if you haven't tuned into that, it's pretty
Yes.
good. We get Starscream on
Do.
there, Alita 1, and probably more by now, right?
Probably. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm glad that we finally get some content on the threefold spark, because we've kind of been wondering about it for a while. Like, who's our Exarchon? What's actually going on? Nominus Prime. Where's the Nominus Edict come from? So I thought all that was really fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like seeing a little bit into the backstory of the war and then what happened to Cyclonus and how he got to the state. It seems like he was able to see them also at that time. Like it's not.
It was almost
Yeah, it was like an
immediate,
immediate
right?
break.
Yeah, so it's not. I don't know if it's like an ability he has or something like that, or it was just so
Probably
traumatic
trauma.
that he just kind of like lost it at the moment and can see them there and everything like that. And I really like the ability the Exarchon has, where like he can take somebody's spark over and kind of control it, but it's up to 3. But then once he does, like they're no longer in there. They've
It passed on.
they cease to exist, and I'm like, whoa, that's
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like
kind of strong.
they actually
we
did
kinda-
something with it.
Answer your question from a earlier episode, Kilo, where you were like, I wonder who Exarchon was. And we figure out who he was. And who was he? Who wants to tackle this?
Ooh, I'll do clickbait.
Why me?
'Cause you're the
I
talk
don't
man.
want to. I don't
Yeah,
want
it's
to
a
tackle
test.
this one. Why don't you tackle it, Onyx? You brought it up.
Well, I can cheat because I wrote it down.
Then why don't you just go ahead and read it for those of us that.
Fine. So we find out he is a bot that got a hold of weapons, cloning tech, and everything, and somehow mutated or changed in some way and became a spark that was infectious and takes over others. But the weird thing is it's only up to 3 because he can only stretch himself out that much far
Which
out.
makes sense. It must be hard controlling like because you have to keep track of what everybody's saying. Because we see in the comics that they're able to interact, and it looks like they at least capture some of the memories, or maybe like mostly it's like data net information that they can get from the grid. And it's super interesting because he has to Exarchon. They have to be able to control the thoughts, movements, actions of what these 3 bots are doing, and it makes total sense that you can't do more than 3. I mean, I can barely keep control of myself sometimes.
The
Yeah,
rule
no,
of 3.
The
You
rule
cannot
of 3.
count
it was
higher than
2.
3. You
Isn't
cannot
that a
count
thing in
lower.
like demons?
No, 2 is Skylix.
There's 2 Skylinks, yeah.
Yeah.
That's the rule of 2. And the rule of 1
gotcha.
is everybody else.
Moving us further, Ultra Magnus gets captured and delivered to Megatron, where we've seen this before. Netflix Siege, T-Pose, Magnus.
Magnus so
we all
rude
know
to
where this is
Magnus
going.
every single time. It's not cool.
Yeah. Speaking of rude, we also get sidetracked for a moment where Flame War trying to strike fear into Six Shot and failing. Adorable, by the way. I
was
think she
great. It
says
was so
something
funny.
along the line like, touch me and I'll rip your hand off and stick it. Oh, no, that's not it.
I just
and then she
imagine
runs
as
off.
she's saying this, Six Shot is like looking
Adorable.
at her, and his gaze is getting increasingly more intimidating. And he's like, "Are you going there? Oh,
Oh, it does.
And he's just
Yeah.
like,
It's like both intimidating
Absolutely.
and confused.
and I think it's cute that because Flame War had literally said, "Fine, but I'm not talking to Six Shot." and then proceeds to just immediately insult Six Shot. It was great.
Yeah, reminds me of a person I know, but we won't name names here because they might be listening.
Gosh.
I do like how unbothered Megatron is to all of this. When Ultra Magnus brings that X-Arc in his back, he's like, he can't be back. I'm busy doing other things, and he just kind of tries to not pay much attention. And then when Strike on Starscream, he's like, do you believe this? It's like, okay, fine, you do that. I'll work on what I'm trying to do. So. Kind of surprised he doesn't try to see X-Arc as a threat anymore.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Continuing forward, Smokescreen makes an escape plan for the General, aka Ultra Magnus, with Swindle, who then gets swindled by Tricky, and Starscream. Oh, look, it's unrelated, but I think Starscream also mentions Grease, which we all like, our friend Grease from the D&D. But I wonder if Starscream knows of Grease. Anyway, side distracted. And while Six Shot and his heavies arrive and a battle ensues. Thoughts? Favorite scenes?
There's a bot behind Six Shot when he's like prepping them before they get into the building. It has like a lizard head, and I really like it. It looks pretty cool.
I thought the whole scene looked really great.
The head. I like the fight. The fight was good. I like Smokescreen a lot. Like his
he's
witty
doing really
banter.
great. Yeah, he's doing great.
He's like, hey guys, look what I found. I got some backup. And he just has a bunch of guns and ammo on him, and all that. So he was pretty good as a character, and we get to see some more bots. Like we see is it the Incendicon or the Firecons? I think it's the Firecons, the ones that are like dinosaurs or breathing lizards.
Oh yeah, the
Firecons?
Yeah, the Firecons. So we get to see those
I like
again.
Codexa.
There's the three lizard guys that were blowing fire. Yeah, Codexa.
He's fun. That is in a different area, but it was still about it was around the area that all the fighting was taking place. So it was really interesting how they were bringing her back into it.
Yeah. No, the art's been really great in these couple issues, especially when we see the intense fight between Cyclonus and Provoke. And that's when Cyclonus actually kills her after finding out she is one of X-Archon's shells, which then leaves one of his other their bodies, X-Archon bodies, Ruckus and Flatline at the time, an opportunity to acquire a third once more. But first, Ruckus discovers a special chamber within Swindle's basement.
Oh my gosh.
And when I mean Ruckus, I mean
terrible.
X-Archon. And when I mean X-Archon, I mean they discover Deathosaurus and a body swap happens. That's not good.
I figured that was gonna happen. Once Ruckus was under and like in the basement, I'm like, I think Deathosaurus is gonna be involved.
I thought they were gonna try and get Cyclonus at first, but then the Deathosaurus thing didn't surprise me.
Yeah. I thought they were gonna get
too.
Shockwave, which they probably still did at some point. It didn't really show what happened there. Just like he figured out that Flatline was X-Archon, and then they didn't show him.
Maybe it's Skywarp, because I got the feeling that he was either going to work with Shockwave or like try and take over Shockwave, but maybe he took over Skywarp.
Possible. We don't know yet. But Skywarp is not dead, which
I called it.
Yeah, definitely called it.
I did mention that one time. He's like, he's probably not dead. He's probably in pieces. So,
which is great.
But that I think that scene was pretty cool where he's like, I think he mentioned something that he's the one that made Shockwave feel important or something like that. Like put him in there, or opened up the possibilities for him. So I was like, okay, so Shockwave worked with X-Archon way before during the war of the Threefold Spark. So I was like, wow, yeah. But it's like I'm surprised. Megatron wanted to work with him after knowing, because there could have been a possibility that a little bit of X-Archon could have been like within Shockwave sleeping over, because they never tell us how they defeated X-Archon.
That's true. They don't.
Right. Which they didn't. That's why.
Yeah. Well, that's why I thought Skywarp was X-Archon when he came back, because he was just floating in the space. So it was like, well, if he's floating, they thought they casted him and put him in a prison where he couldn't get out, and now he's back.
It would make sense, though, if Skywarp was at least like partially affected by X-Archon, or maybe like taken over for a while and then he just got ditched. But I don't know, maybe there was a part of him that hung on. I don't know. I'm just happy we get more Skywarp content. That's all.
Moving along,
I love her.
Strika leads a strike force onto Crystal City.
She's so cool.
She's the best, isn't she? The last Autobot stronghold. Any scenes that stand out? Because I really enjoyed towards the end where Lodestar's
my gosh,
entrance
that
with
was
Computron, and it quickly created
He's
a
like, all right,
timeout
fine, okay.
because they're like,
Okay, cool.
snap."
Maybe I should rethink this whole truce thing. I think that sounds like a great idea. I thought that was hilarious.
You know, it was great. I was kind of thinking of like, how are they going to get out? How are they going to get out? And I'm like, well, probably Lodestar and Computron
Yeah,
are
they've
going to
been
show
teasing
up,
that.
because I remember seeing a page made by the artist on Twitter a long time ago. I don't remember exactly the context, but I remember seeing it and all that. So, but Strika is scary,
she's cool.
because there's
The
a part where she like launches
Yeah.
the heavy artillery.
Badoom!
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Badoom one is like she's
Oh,
just
that was
standing there,
sick.
just explosions. But
It was really good.
I like
Her
what's
speech
his
was
name?
great.
Is it Oblivion?
Obsidian. He was cool.
Obsidian. I love
Yeah,
Obsidian's. I
Obsidian
love
was great.
Obsidian's design in this continuity. Like
Mhm.
he's appeared before, but like
Yeah.
we saw him fight,
He
and
got
he's
the
like
similar design from the
Yeah.
2005 series.
similar. But he in the 2005, I don't think he had legs. He was just floating with his propellers. So he looks a little bit more of like a ninja in this one, and I think he mentioned he mastered different types
Yeah,
of
yeah.
combat, or somebody mentions
It
that.
looks like he's like
so I
the
thought that was
Flash,
pretty
like,
cool and
because there's just a
interesting.
bunch of scenes of him going like phew, 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 phew.
Yeah, and using the propellers
Yeah.
as weapons, so that
I
was
liked-
pretty cool too.
Oh, I really liked the parallel they drew between Optimus and Strika. How Strika seems to have a very similar like idea path as Optimus. She's just doing it directed under Megatron. And I like how then when the battle is like starting, they flip like the text boxes between Optimus and Strika. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah. So when they call a truce, which then turns into a Megatron Zoom call with Optimus, and they help fight off other threats on Cybertron, because they're like, if you win, there's also going to be other threats. So you're not going to have Cybertron to yourself. It's going to be a war-ravaged world, or not a world anymore, because we have Insecticlones eating everything. We have Exarchon back, and Rustworm.
There's a
that's
lot
There's a lot
happening
of
all
things
at
going
once.
Yeah,
on
there's
all
like
at once.
3 different war fronts.
And what is Shockwave responsible
Yeah.
for? Like 2 of 3, 3 of 3. As usual, Shockwave is
Most
causing
of
way
it.
more trouble than he's
Yeah.
worth.
So what are our thoughts on Termagax's plan to deal
It's
with
genius.
the
I loved it.
Insecticlone
Termagax is
army?
great, and she's so
That was
clever,
pretty
and
cool.
she's so smart. She's like a total.
I think she's a
Oh,
wonderful
absolutely.
addition to
She's
she's
great.
a great character.
the Transformers.
I hope they bring her back, because she's very fun to follow, and like I like that she has the knowledge, but she
It's
also
so
doesn't
funny.
have the patience
She's like,
to
I can
deal
see
with everybody
this is
else.
an issue,
It's
but I
great.
have neither the time nor the energy to deal with you and fix it. So good luck, have fun. I'm gonna peek out and watch from afar, just sipping my tea. It's great. I love her.
Yeah, she really only acts on things if it affects
She's like the most
her.
self-interested, but also like altruistic type. Like she's in it for Cybertron, but only if she benefits from it being for the benefit of Cybertron. It's a very interesting standpoint to take.
Yeah, I like that they bring back
Blitzwing.
Glyph,
Yes.
and they do a callback. Yeah, they do bring Blitzwing, and but they have Glyph and Tap Out, and they do a callback to the Valentine's episode where they're using the language they learn on that planet to communicate
That's really
before
cool.
they say their goodbyes and all that. So that was
really
that was
cute.
great.
Yeah. Surprising no one, the Decepticons betray the truth and box the Autobots in with the metal-eating rustworms
Yep,
because,
that's
well, they're
shocking
deceptive.
absolutely nobody in the audience. Not even even Optimus was like, he's gonna
Yeah.
betray us
And
at
it-
some point. It's really just a matter of time. Like
Yeah.
that's his nature now. I was like, Optimus, you're so smart.
Barely any time passed, too, when they trade them. It's like literally the next page.
Optimus seemed a little frustrated by it too. He was like, really already? Like we can't even make any progress against these threats before you're betraying us?
Yeah. Can you be quiet for
No!
5 minutes?
It's not possible.
I thought it was pretty cool. Cromar is a weaponizer. I think I got that right. And combined with Javelin, and I really love the art where it's
Yeah, that
just
was
blasting
great.
every
I love
direction.
Javelin.
Yeah, no, Javelin's great. For the listeners, they're inside of the Insecticon. I wouldn't call it hive at this point. trying to enact the plan that Codex came
Termagant.
up with, which is put
Not
a
Codex,
mind receiver
Termagant.
controller or Termagax. Sorry, I was watching a different panel.
Yeah.
The Termagax, and her plan is to put a tracker receiver on Bombshell so that the Insecticons are directed to eat the rust
Genius.
worms, and so they have a team in there to do that, and it was
Yep.
great.
Yep. What was it? Kill 2 laser beaks with 1 stone? So my last note, in the end, the Insecticlone functions are rewritten to attack the rustworms. Skywarp appears with an imploder and orders the Autobots to not move until Megatron, Shockwave, and the rest of the Decepticon armada arrive. And that's it. That's the cliffhanger we are left with. And what are our
It's
thoughts?
definitely
Should we
a
go back? Should
cliffhanger.
we go forward?
G-Haxis was an
Theories?
interesting spin. They brought him in with no explanation and no warning, and then just didn't mention him again. They were like, "Oh, Strike is gone. Why are we talking to G-Haxis? Oh, maybe Strike is dead. Okay, cool. Moving on. Never talking about G-Haxis again." Which is
Well, G-Hexus has been
but he's
since
been
the beginning,
pretty
he's been
in and
working
out,
with
in the
Megatron,
background.
Yeah.
So
He's
it was a
been
weird
in
call
the
forward to
background.
G-Haxis.
He's
It was
usually
kind of out
in
of
the
nowhere.
background. But, well, if you're,
I don't
who
know.
else
Maybe
are they gonna put in?
I didn't see Six Shot there or anything.
Well, he's busy, fighting a war. G-Hexus
That's
is
fair.
probably
He
at
was
the
probably
base
the only
just
one doing
nothing.
nothing that Megatron could have fill in for Striker.
Yeah. I wonder with the teaser at the end. I wonder if Skywarp and Shockwave have been infected.
I think
By the
Skywarp may have
Exarchon.
been, but I don't know
Yeah,
about
that's what I
Shockwave. I
was-
feel like he'd have safeguards against that.
They leave it
Mm-hmm.
all on a cliff there. So it would be interesting to see. It made me want to keep reading, but I'm like, I don't want
Yeah.
to get too
Yeah,
far
thank
ahead
you.
of everyone else.
Because at this point, I don't want to say we're getting close, but we can definitely see how the timeline or the future where Slipstream or Jumpstream went to could have happened because Exarchon has
join
already
Team Stream.
infiltrated. They should, but we can definitely see how Exarchon has already infiltrated the Decepticon ranks and probably got control of everybody else, or at least Megatron, in that timeline. So I wonder
I don't know.
how
I feel like it
things
could
are
go
going
a
to
lot
end
of
here.
different ways.
Yeah. Are we ready for
I
clickbait?
think we might be. I do want to make one more note before we go there. I thought it was cute how they brought back that one little bot that looks kind of like Ravage, and he just went straight for Bumblebee again when they were rescuing Magnus, and he was like, "I'm gonna bite you,
Rat
little
gut,
yellow,"
rat gut.
and I was like, and he goes, "This guy again." I thought that was funny. Yeah, I think it's like
rat
Crunch
gut or
I
gun
don't
gut
even
or something
know.
like that. It's pretty
Cat gut.
funny
It's
name.
Cat Gut. His name's Cat Gut.
Yeah.
All
Pretty sure it's Cat
of
Gut.
those sound right. All of those sound right.
They're perfect. I do like the conversation
do too,
between
yeah, I liked
Codex
that a
and
lot.
Optimus.
It was really
I think
interesting.
That was
Yeah.
pretty good.
And I liked
It was
where we
pretty
talked about
nice
the
and pretty
primes, and
sweet.
I liked where they talked about Crystal City. I like all the background, all the expose. It's so much fun. Anyways, I
Yeah,
know.
I wasn't expecting that we were going to go into
liked
the
liked it.
prime and the creation of everything. So that was cool.
Shall we do clickbait's quick quotes? Okay, fabulous.
quick
Anyways,
quote.
quick quote number 1. I just thought this one was really nice. This is in, I don't remember the issue, but it's when Ultra Magnus is talking to, I think he said Senator Crisscross, he said the name was. And it was after he told him he was going to rescue him, and he says, "Don't promise dawn to those in darkness unless you're the sun." And I was like, oh, that's kind of sad. It's kind of sad, but I really like
you were
it.
going to pick
It's
this
so
one.
poetic.
I read that one. I was like,
Yes.
this is one clickbait's going to read. I didn't like that quote. I thought it was kind of
It feels like somebody
a
who's
feel-bad
being
quote.
subjected to energon starvation and
You
has
know?
no hope left. That's a hopeless thing for somebody to say, which is why I liked it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But sure. But say don't promise the dawn to those in darkness unless you're the sun. So then Ultra Magnus is left to abandon someone to die, which is
Yeah.
what they have to do anyway. And it's just you have to feel bad now
I mean, don't make an empty
because
promise.
you're not the sun.
Who's gonna
Well,
feel
he was-
bad anyways? Might as well
He was
sound
still going to
cool
feel
about
bad
it,
anyway
okay?
because he still had to leave.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Yeah, I don't
moving
know if
on.
it sounded cool. Okay, moving on.
Our
I think it sounded
obligatory
cool,
Optimus
like,
Prime
yeah.
wisdom dropping quote here is Merit or otherwise does not really live in the choice, but in its consequences. You cannot fully judge anything until you see them. Which is basically, the choice. He even spoke about it a little more. He's like, the choice is free, but it's the consequences that you have to live with. That's what really gets you. I was like, yeah, our little piece of optimist wisdom for the weekend. Don't think about the action, think about the consequences. Which I liked that. I like that method of thinking. Next up, Strika. Anything that has been made once can be made again, but if we are afraid to unmake anything, the future can never be different from the past. I like that too. That one is really good. And that was really good. And I felt like we'd been a little bit heavy with the quick quotes for a while, so then I picked Knock Knock, Anyone There from Blitzwing. I thought it was fun. I could just hear him saying it in his Transformers animated accent, the one where he's a German. Or the one where he's like the orange face, where he's like
with 3 heads.
You mean
his Schwarzenegger one, yeah.
Because that's all.
Yeah. No, exactly. I like that
exactly.
And then my last one is Termagax, and Perceptor says something snarky to her about her plan, and she goes, "Oh," says Perceptor, who I hear accidentally shot a teleporter into the future and imprisoned Titan Sparks. The lack of self-awareness in here makes my gears ache. No wonder the planet's coming apart. Literally. I thought that was great. It's so keeping in line with Termagax and where her sass level has been. And I also checked Perceptor really nicely. So I really liked that.
I have that in my notes. It said Clickbait is gonna.
It made me chuckle. It made me chuckle.
Because as soon as I read it,
we know exactly what Clickbait's gonna do.
No, it made me chuckle too, but I'm like, this is definitely gonna be in the quote section.
Rodstar rating. I will take the lead on this one. So these ones are pretty good. They're long. There's 7 of them, so it's one more typical than our usual 6 issues. The art is fantastic. The dialogue has been pretty good. A lot of characters have been great. The one thing I think is there's been a lot of things happening. So I think I'm just going to take off half a star. So 4.5 for me.
The art was great. I really liked Javelin's scene in the hive and all that. And some of the witty comments and seeing Computron and Titan come back and all those were fun. But I feel like there were too many things happening at once, and they're like, because we have Optimus and the defending, and then you have Thermagax on the other side trying to do the Insecticons, and then the other team saving Ultra Magnus. And it's not that we can't have multiple stories, but I feel like nothing was progressing. Like they didn't add too much of the other ones. So it's like a 3 for me.
I really liked all of the background we got. I liked how they threw a lot at us. Some of it felt a little bit rushed, but a lot of it felt pretty well put together. I felt like they did a good job tying in everything that we've had coming so far. We tied in a little bit of the Wreckers. We tied in the Devastation, I think, is where the Insecticons came in. The Valentine's Day special. Like, everything kind of got tied in here. And so I thought it was really fun. Galaxies, thank you. Not Devastation.
Yep.
Galaxies.
We're in Devastation, but that's a video game.
Thank you. And so I'm gonna give it a 4.5. It wasn't quite 5 level. But it was definitely, I enjoyed it. It was a very good read.
Fantastic. But listeners, what did you think of these? How many Rod Stars would you give it? Let us know by leaving a comment below. If you would like to get in contact with us, you can send us an email at swervesbarpodcast@gmail.com. That is SWERVESBAR podcast@gmail.com. Are you two ready for Transformers Volume 6?
Yes, absolutely.
Wars and issues 1 through 4?
I'm ready.
All right. Now, this is the section of the show where you can talk about any new toys that you may or may not have.
I have one.
Probably have.
I'm pretty sure I haven't spoken about it. Sometimes I get a little bit mixed up. But I recently completed my Transformers Prime San Diego Comic-Con exclusives, not specifically San Diego, but Comic-Con exclusives collection line. I just got I think it was an SDCC exclusive, Ultimate Opponent Starscream versus Bumblebee, but it's Dark Energon Starscream, and it comes with the little mech figures, so they're kind of like the Green Army guys, but they're like mech people, so it comes with Silas and 2 mech soldiers. It's been an elusive chase to get this one. It's a mint and sealed box. Ooh. So I'm super excited about that, and I actually paid like below market price for that, so that was a really nice find, and that completes my exclusives line for Prime. Yeah, I love it. It's gorgeous.
Very nice.
Nice. I don't know if I've mention these, but at Cybfest I got the Decepticon clones. One turns into a jaguar, and the other one's like a bird. I don't remember their names. It's like Sharpclaw and something else, I think. But I like them. They're nice toys. They don't have guns or anything, but they're small little bots.
That's always
that
the
I can
best.
transform very quickly and play with them on my desk. So really enjoy them.
Nice.
Yeah.
You picked up a Starscream Cyberverse toy that I plan on making a custom into one of our wonderful characters from the Transform and Rollout
Ooh, he's one of the best
series,
characters, if you ask
Rise of the
me.
World Killers and Eons, called Mantix.
Gee,
but
I
it
wonder
saddens
why
me.
he keeps dying.
He keeps dying, so I don't know if that's true. But it saddens me because I have to pop the head off the Starscream
Then you can
to
turn it into a
put the
floating
right
ghost
head
head
that Mantix
of
has
Starscream.
on. But
It's okay.
And send it to our
it'll be a fun
Starscream
process.
guest.
Floating ghost head, you right.
Yes.
If I have it done before this is edited, maybe there'll be a photo of it on the video
I believe
version.
so.
It'll be good. All right. Is that all?
Oh.
Yep, I want to correct that. It's pounds and wingspan.
Ounce and wings. Yeah, that sounds right. Okay. If you've enjoyed this episode, consider sharing it with your friends and subscribing. If you want to help out the show even further, we have started a Patreon. All the proceeds will go to supporting the show and keeping the lights on. Of course, we have other tiers to offer other forms of gratitude, such as 3D files and entry to our Discord channel. You'll even get early access to our comic review videos a week before their public release, including the D&D ones. We also started a Redbubble where you can
It's a
get
lot of
our
fun.
merch on pretty much anything you want.
Oh my
it's fun.
Primus.
It's great. I might get a pair of shower curtains. That would be great. Also, we have a goal to reach 500 subscribers. We'll be holding a brand new kind of giveaway we've never done before. So click that subscribe button and tell your friends it's a good time. And as always, we hope you are all staying safe out there. Thank you so much for listening. Till all are one.
Till all are
Till
one.
Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok at Swerve Podcast, and even on Tumblr. Yes, with everything going on Twitter, we figured we should cover our bases. Speaking of which, you can also find us on Twitter at Swerve, if that's still a thing. If you're interested in more content, try checking out our spin-off D&D series, Transform and Roll Out. Season 3, titled Eons, is now available. Let's tune in to a preview now.
Can I have a birthday hat?
Yeah, you can have a birthday hat.
This is about to end very
Thank
badly.
you. I have a birthday hat on. Guys, I think you're dessert. It's your dessert. I'm kind of scared.
I'm gonna move for my movement.
Yeah, move for your movement and move for your combat movement.
Move.
Perfect. That makes all the sense in the world.
I like to move it.
Oh,
No.
please listen to some elevator music.
It's a smolder world after all.
No!
It's a smolder world after all.
Buddy, these are like level 11 characters. Level 8 characters.
That's how the adventure goes.
What?
There. I've never felt so panicked in my life.
Thank you, DM. Please more.
Well, that was certainly something. There is also a YouTube channel with bonus content, such as video games containing funny comments and trendy shorts. A link will be provided below. And if you're so inclined, you can support us on Patreon, where you can get even more bonus content, such as reading files, access to their Discord, and listen to the content before it's released to the public. More links will be provided below. End transmission.